Welcome to this guided coaching meditation. I wanted to talk about self-awareness. For many people, they will believe, and rightly so, that they have a level of self-awareness. What if I was to say that there's an even deeper level of self-awareness that you can go to? And it's really important that you become more and more self-aware. Let me explain. In order for you to be able to operate in your world with happiness, with love, with success, with fun, with contribution, whatever your thing is, and all of those things, you have to understand you within the context of whatever it is that you're doing, saying, being, or whatever. And we do not always know what that is. Either know or no. And yet, the way that you turn up, the way that you become party to something that is a success, or be with people that you want to be with, doing more and more of what you love, it requires a deeper level of self-awareness than you may have gone to before. Now, self-awareness at its very basic is knowing that you are where you are. Maybe being aware of how you're feeling, particularly normally if it's a negative feeling, anxious, worried, maybe excited, something along those lines. You may be aware of heightened emotions. You may be aware of what you're wearing, what your car is, how you've got there. We pay awareness to our surroundings to the extent that we need to, and no more. And yet there is a whole other layer of awareness. And becoming aware of everything is not possible in the moment, but becoming aware of it in degrees is. So today is all about becoming more aware. So when you're ready, I want you just to close your eyes. And this is the first step in becoming more aware, because when you close your eyes, you close off one of your senses. Your deeper mind, which runs the show, uses your five senses and arguably your sixth sense to be aware of whether you're safe or not. So when you close down one of those senses, i.e. the visual sense, which for us in the Western world is one of the biggest of our five senses for the majority of people, not for everyone. What happens then is that you can start to focus on your other senses. And this is a good starting point of awareness. I want you to be aware in this moment of your breathing. Is it fast and high in the chest? Is it low and slow into the belly? Are you breathing through your nose or your mouth? And as you do that, can you become aware of a diaphragm moving? Because when you breathe in, the diaphragm pulls down into the belly, hence the belly raising. And as you breathe out, it pulls back up a bit like a set of bellows. You get a sense of that. a new level of awareness. And are you able to transition from a chest breathing and see if you can breathe into your belly instead? A different awareness, perhaps. And if you're already breathing in your belly, fabulous. What if you could breathe into something else? So, very often there'll be an ache or a pain. Can you breathe into the ache or the pain? Just bring your attention to it and breathe into it. But let's breathe in love and healing. So if you've got a colour, that's even better and even stronger. The unconscious mind can work with that. Breathe in love and colour to the ache or the pain and allow it to just be. Because the body is endeavouring to communicate with you through this ache, pain, whatever it might be. It's communicating with you and letting you know something needs to be done. Now, our first thing is to take a pill, which for a headache or migraine is quite common. But what you need to be asking yourself, and just ask the question, no expectation of a reply. What is it you need? And if you get an answer, fantastic. It is your responsibility now to do something about it. But if you didn't get an answer, you will get one. When you're not paying any attention to it, the answer will just come to you, or you'll see something, or somebody will say something that will trigger the thought in your mind. Who knows? The answer will come in many different forms. That's right. Very good. And this new level of awareness that you can get just by closing your eyes and focusing on your breath allows you to become more aware of your inner world, your inner physical world. And you can do this whenever you want to. When you go for a walk, stand still for a moment and close your eyes and just breathe. Another form of awareness, which I believe is as important as the physical side, is your behaviors, the things that you do. I want you to look back over the last 24 hours and look at the things that you've done. Were they all done with love and the right intent? Were they done thoughtfully and mindfully, or more habitually and I've got to do it? I want you to be more aware of how you do things, how you show up to do those things. Let me explain. Invariably, it'll be a family member, but it could equally be a friend asking you to do something. And for many, myself included, sometimes it's like, oh, I want you to be aware of that. Ugh. Because that's you feeling that you're being controlled because you have no choice but to do whatever it is. I want you to become more aware of it. What is it that's a problem? Maybe it's to go shopping or do the shopping for a relative. Maybe it's to go and visit them. Oh, we've got such a busy day. What if you could change that? Not immediately, you'll still have that response because until you get to the root cause, that will continue to happen. But what if you could do that? However, I choose to, I get to, is a new thought process that will start to change that immediate response. I choose to help them. This will change the energy of how you deliver what you do. I very often talk about doing more and more of what you love, less and less of what you don't. Because the more you love doing what you're doing, you know you're going to turn up in a different frame of mind. You know that you're going to do things in a better way with love. For those of you who are into or get involved in do it yourself, you know that if you turn up feeling tired and grumpy, it's going to be harder to get through it, longer even. Whereas if you turn up ready and raring to go and to get it done, the results will be very, very different. And I just want you to take some time to become aware of how you turn up. And where you are not turning up as your best self, you've chosen to do something, you want to do something, you're happy to be there. The question you have to ask is, what do I need? Because basically there's something going on for you. But what a level of awareness to gain. How incredible is that, to be able to realize you've got more control over the outcome than you ever thought possible, just by changing your attitude, your state, your ability to do what you need to do. And state management is very key in you delivering what you need, because sometimes you're not going to feel like it. And that's okay. But you can create a state so you can still turn up, do what you have to, and then go back and rest or sleep or whatever it is you need to do. A whole different level of awareness is the way that you turn up to do the things you do. I have already mentioned this, but awareness of your thinking. Now, I'm talking cognitive thinking. You may be like me, and there feels like layers of thinking. Do not worry about the layers. Just notice what you notice about your thinking. So just for the moment, looking back over the past 24 hours, what were you telling yourself in your head? I've got too much to do. Oh, I've got to see this person, or I've got to work with that client, or what were the thoughts that went through your head? To be fair, that's going to be not necessarily an easy task, but I'm asking the question because for some of you that will be easy. What I'm going to ask you to do today, for the next 24 hours, is to become aware of those thoughts. What is your thinking? And if you should have a negative thought, I can't do that, I'm too busy, I don't know what I'm doing, who do they think they are, how dare they, whatever your negative thought is, I want you to capture it. Stop when you have that thought and look at it. Imagine you could pull it out of your head and look at it in the palm of your hand. What is that thought doing for you? And like the behavior, what do you need? The body communicates with us in many different ways, and this is just another layer that it can do this. This is, if you like, a little bit of seepage from your deeper mind to say, yeah, no, I don't like it. And sometimes we have to do things we don't like. We have to think things we don't like. But it's understanding that the more we change our thoughts to, if not positive, then neutral ones, the more that we can appreciate them, because that's what you're going to do. Thank you. Didn't realize that. Thank you. I've heard you. Thank you for that thought. I will have a look at that. The more you can do this, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but nobody needs to know you're doing it. And you don't have to do all thoughts, just pick one each day that you get and really work with it to understand what's going on. Because what will happen is when you can address that, let me tell you, it can make a real change to your behaviors, which we've already said will give you better outcomes, a whole new level of awareness. And I just want to take you a bit deeper for this one today. As you're sitting there, what are you feeling? Calm and peaceful, maybe agitated, or wanting to get something done. And all I want you to do is sit with it. Pay attention to it. Where is it in the body? That emotional something that's going on. It could be turmoil, it could be drive, it could be excitement. Just notice where it is. That's right, very good. And by sitting with it, I want to bring you back to your breath and breathe into it the love and healing that it needs. Because all these emotions is energy. They're biochemical in nature. They can disperse once we acknowledge them and sit with them. Sometimes it can go just like that. Sometimes it might need a bit longer. But you can come back to it if you need to. Just for the moment, breathe into that space you're feeling this feeling. Because even if it's positive, loving, sending it love and healing just allows it to still pass through, because we want to avoid any energy being stuck in our body. Any energy. A different level of awareness. And you can do this once you practice this and understand the process. You can practice this much easier, much faster, and actually work on your own self-development. It takes time. I'm not denying that. I've been at this a lifetime, but I can't tell you how much I've changed from the 30-something I was, from the 20-something I was, from the teenager. And I'm not just talking the attributes of growing up. I was very sarcastic when I was younger. I was a bit argumentative. I liked to be right. These are traits that are much softer these days, if at all. And you can do the same. The thing is, I didn't have this as a guide. I didn't have this to listen to help train myself, because that's really what we're doing here, is training you to bring your intention inwards. The interesting thing is that I've only taken you through 4 layers of awareness. There are more. But for now, just tuning in where you need to tune in. Notice that pain and ache. Has that started to dissipate, to dissolve? That single thought that goes on in your head, you'll know them. The bad ones that no longer support you. Be mindful of your language, actually, as an incidental. I used to have a lot of aggressive language that I used. I had no idea. So watch your language. Watch what you do and pick one thing a day that you're going to focus on and become aware of. And that is just the beginning. When you're ready, bringing your attention back to your breathing. I wonder if it's changed or whether it's the same. And as you do, getting ready to come back into the now, becoming aware of your surroundings, becoming aware of there where you are, getting ready to open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and your toes as you come back into the now. And know that you have started to develop a newer level of self-awareness that really can help you going forward. Enjoy.